I
A spiritual awakening is a profound shift in consciousness that involves a heightened awareness of reality beyond the ego. It often includes letting go of old beliefs, gaining a deeper understanding of your true self, and feeling a greater connection to the universe or a higher purpose. The process can be sudden or gradual, and it may bring about both blissful and challenging experiences.
so that's what I told y'all. Like I went through a spiritual awakening when my grandma died. You know what I'm saying? I went through a spiritual awakening, dark night of the soul. So that was just a definition of what a spiritual awakening is. What is a dark night of the soul?
The phrase is likely the dark night of the soul, a spiritual concept describing a painful, challenging period of profound transformation, where one's former sense of self and meaning collapses before a deeper truth or spiritual awakening can emerge.
See what I'm saying? Like I had to go through a dark night of the soul that was painful. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm going through another dark night of the soul and another spiritual awakening. See, they got you thinking that is when, but we die and be reborn. That's why, like, in the Bible, they say Jesus resurrected on the third day. You know what I'm saying? Um, so you don't die in a literal form. You die in a spiritual form, and you've been reborn into a new person. If you ever saw, if y'all saw the movie Sinners, right? Um, really, the two brothers they was the same person, but it was the higher self and the lower self. So the lower self had to die for the higher self. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I think that's what twin flames is. You know what I'm saying? Your lower self and your higher self. I may be wrong, but hey, but yeah, I went through a dark night of the soul and a spiritual awakening. And when I went on a spiritual awakening, it led me down so many rabbit holes. But down when I went down so many rabbit holes, I found out that like I'm connected to the Bible. I'm connected to ancient Egypt. I'm connected to the universe. I'm connected to so many things. That's why I'm telling y'all the story about Job. And I think the Bible is I said it before, but the Bible acronym basic instructions before leaving Earth. Earth is a school, and the Bible is a guidebook. And they stole African spirituality and put it into the Bible, but the laws of the universe. It's like that's why I tell you it's all about perception. Cause like with Job, when he was going through the Job, you seen Job went through the worst is the worst. That's why I want y'all to go research and check out that story of Job. Job went through the worst is the worst, but one thing he never did was lost faith, and that's how life is. You could be going through the worst is the worst, but don't never lose faith no matter what you're going through. You gotta always have a mind frame that everything is working out for your good. It's working out for the better of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say it's all about perception. Because if you feel like life is, I just told y'all a couple months ago I was sleeping in a storage. Now I'm doing I got me a job. You know my life is what I'm saying. And then this hit me, but I know what it's hitting me for now. You know what I'm saying? The old me is dying and the new me is being reborn. It's being rebirthed. I'm resurrecting. You know what I'm saying? It's because I told y'all last time I went through this, I hit myself. I didn't know how to deal with this. I mean, people talking about me, it made me feel so ashamed of myself. I ain't have pride in myself. And that's what spiritual attacks is. Spiritual attacks could be on your pride, it could be on your consciousness and on your voice. Like that's why I feel like, I'm getting these spiritual attacks because they don't want me to speak my truth. They want me to hide myself, but I hid myself already when I went into hermit mode. Now I know who I am. I know my power. I know my strength. You know what I'm saying? So this is the new version of me. Last time I hit myself, now I'm bringing it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even want to go outside. I ain't even want to go outside. It's like I fell off the face of the earth. But now I'm being my authentic self. I'm authentically being me. I ain't hiding from nothing. You know what I'm saying? And being the chosen one, you gotta have thick skin. But it's like so much I won't say. You heard me? And I know there's so many spiritual attacks on my throat chakra. I'm gonna tell y'all we gonna find out about the chakras and all that too. But that's why I got the G there. You know what I'm saying? But that's not why I got the G there. But as we go down this journey, cause it's so much. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that I can say. But I went through the dark night of the soul. I went through the spiritual awakening. That's why I could read numbers like that. That's why I'm so good with numbers. That's why I could break down things like that. That's why I broke down the Bible. And when I tell y'all, I am here sent on a divine mission to raise the frequency and the conscience of Earth, I am here to do just that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's the same story as Jesus. Jesus was denied in his own city. They didn't believe Jesus was sent from the divine. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? When he tried to tell people, they like, boy, you talking crazy. So I feel like I'm going through that same thing. You don't see how my life interconnected with the Bible. I'm going through the Job story right now, and I'm telling y'all my Jesus story. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just stick with me. Stick with me. Is this the story only gets better? You know what I'm saying? But all right, we talked about a dark night of the soul. We talk about a spiritual awakening. Let's see what they're gonna say about spiritual attacks on the chosen one. What are spiritual attacks on the chosen one?
Spiritual attacks on the Chosen One are believed to be spiritual warfare launched by opposing forces, like the devil or negative entities, to derail their divine purpose. These attacks can manifest as intense struggles, obstacles, setbacks, temptations, betrayals, and overwhelming negativity designed to isolate and discourage the individual.
I just told y'all that. You know what I'm saying? I just told y'all that they when your purpose is big, the bigger the attacks. The bigger the attacks. So they trying everything not for me to speak my truth. My purpose is that big. My purpose is to raise the frequency and the consciousness of the earth. That's why I can see things, how I can see things. That's why, like, that's how I broke that down for y'all in the last video. You know what I'm saying? To raise the frequency and the consciousness, your consciousness, to make you see things, because people trapped inside a box and they not thinking outside the box. They only take things at face value. They never, like I'm trying to tell people like, oh, I got the G's. I'm walking the same path as Yahshua, Jesus. See, Christ is a consciousness. Christ is not a person. Christ is a consciousness. You know what I'm saying? That's why in the Garden of Eden, you know, they didn't want them to eat from the tree. They didn't want them to get the knowledge. And Christ is a consciousness. So they got us thinking that, they got us waiting on Christ to come back, but Christ is consciousness and the Christ consciousness is back. That's what I got right now. That's why I can see beyond the veil. That's why I got clairvoyance. That's why I can hear messages through music. I can get it through numbers. If you go back into the ancient time, you will see that there was masters of math. There was masters of numerology, the cosmos, and things like that. And I'm so in tune. I'm so in tune with life. That's why I get all the downloads and the messages. I am I am one of the most high favorites, if not the favorite. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not better than you, because he love us all, but I'm one of the most high favorite. I'm here. See, I got the keys and the codes. See, when they stole the spirituality, they burnt down the artifacts and all this. But you can't burn what lives in me, the coals within me. See, they thought if they could chop the nose off the Spanx and do all that we wouldn't remember. But now, I remember. I remember. Let me uh let me see what they gonna say about the soul contract. Cause the soul contract is when you come to Earth, you sign. It's like, all right. It's like you and the Most High sitting down, right? And your soul contract is you come here to remember. Your soul comes here to remember, right? And you tell the Most High, your angels, you know what I'm saying? You tell them that, well, not your angels, because your angels protect you, but the Most High, you tell them, that your guardian angels, I guess, but you tell them, like, oh, I want this lesson, I want this lesson, I want this lesson, I want this lesson, I want this lesson. That's your soul contract, and you got to go through those lessons for your awakening. That's how I found out. I turned my pain into purpose when I lost my grandmother and finding out about psoriasis. But it's so much. It's so much, dog. It's so much. I just want y'all. But it ain't for people who won't be awoken. It's only for the people who want to be awoken. If you want to stay asleep, stay asleep. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be free, then be free. What is a soul contract spiritually?
A soul contract is a spiritual agreement made before birth with other souls, outlining the life lessons, experiences, and relationships necessary for your soul's growth and karmic evolution.
See what I'm saying? It's life lessons. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through life lessons to receive life blessings. That's why I say, like, I'm all the way awoke, dog. I'm so much awoke. And when I finish, see, it's like the people that rule this matrix, the elites or whoever they say it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want this truth to come out. You see, if you notice it, it's a lot of people talking about this our land, and it's a lot of people waking up right now. So they trying to. You can't stop the process. You can only try to delay it, and I feel like that's why they giving me all these spiritual attacks right now, trying to delay my progress. And I had so many attacks on my throat chakra because they don't want me to speak my truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like I lost my teeth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It probably be due from me eating a lot of candy, but even that's a spiritual attack. All these sweets and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted me to hide myself. See, that's why they this came at this point of time. If you think about it right now, we're in the year 9, the year of the wooden snake in Chinese zodiac, and that has to do with the Kundalini. You know what I'm saying? See, that's why the serpent in the Garden of Eden, that's why the serpent was the only, you know what I'm saying? This was the only non-human that could talk. How you could talk? How did you have more knowledge than Adam and Eve? Because they didn't have this knowledge. How a serpent? See, the snake was knowledge, but they demonized it and made the snake evil. But the snake is knowledge, so that's why I feel like I'm going through this in the year 9, the year of the snake. Well, snake shed his skin. I'm shedding my skin. This is about to be a rebirth. It's my rebirth and resurrection. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you know about psoriasis. Psoriasis could be so itchy, dog. But we're just gonna keep it there until the next video, because I had so many spiritual attacks on me, and I kept on overthinking like what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna say it, and I'm just putting it out there. However it come out, it come out. You know what I'm saying? If it's meant for you to get, you gonna get it. If it's not meant for you to get, you won't get it. But y'all stick with me. I got a lot to break down. You know what I'm saying? It's the karma sign too. You know what I'm saying?